Well, folks, I'm off to the races in Ready, Set, Bet. This is a real-time horse racing game that takes place over 4 rounds. It's loads of fun. I picked up my copy at Gen Con, and I'm here to tell you all about it. Ready, Set, Bet is a fun, fast, lively horse racing game that takes about 45 minutes to 60 minutes to play, and I've both played the house and I've also played as a player, and I will tell you that both are really fun. So it goes 2 to 9 players, and if you have that full 9-player game, one of those players is playing the house because there are 8 sets of betting chips that those players get to place out in real time as the one player who is playing the house runs the entire race by rolling dice and moving horses on this teeny tiny little horse track, which is super cool. Now there is an app that's going to be released shortly that has an announcer and essentially those randomized dice rolls to essentially make that run so that no one at the table will play the house. But I have to say, it's a really fun job, and you can embellish as much as you want and add so much flair and fun and flavor to that house roll as you yell out snake eyes and boxcars, which are definitely those trigger words for some players' VIP cards. Now, what happens is players are going to kind of get ready at the table at the start of the round. They have their 5 betting chips and their player color in their hand, a value 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once the house player rolls the dice and starts moving the horses, you can place a betting chip anywhere you want on the board. And this board is pretty big and kind of looks like a roulette board. And so what you're going to do is you're going to see all the horses listed on the side by their number. And you'll also see a place for color. You'll also see some cards that will cycle out each round, and they're called prop bet cards. And then lastly, at the end of each round, you are going to reveal a brand new card at the bottom of the board. These are exotic finish cards, and that's going to give you so much to bet on. There is so much. Now, where are you placing those 5 betting chips that you have? Well, you might want to place it on one of the horses that's already leading in the ongoing real-time horse race that's happening right now. Let's say horse 8 gets really far ahead. Place your betting chip down. Now, what number do you put down? Well, it depends on how risky you want it to be and how much you want that multiplier to be. So the number that you place down in the spot with the big number is essentially this number times that number is the amount of money I will receive at the end of the round if this is a good bet, if this is a bet that works. You might actually have a penalty of a certain number if your bet is not good, and you'll see that in the bottom corner of each betting space that has a minus next to it. That minus, though, is not multiplied times the betting chip that you put in there. It's just a straight -1 or 2 or 3 and so forth. So you want to essentially place down your bets until you can't place anymore because there is a no bet line. And when the 3rd horse crosses the no bet line, that means that no bets are allowed for the rest of that round. Now that may or may not happen because once the very first horse crosses into the finish area, that round is over and we're going to score up who came in first, who came in second, and who came in third. So you have win, show, and place. And so that's what these arrows are for, and it'll point to that kind of main betting board area, that roulette-style board, which bets were successful, and you want to make sure that you keep everything out there because you might have a penalty, you might lose money for a bad bet, but you definitely want to make sure you collect all of your winnings before you clear the board and set up for the next round. I think there are some really cool features to this game. First off, the real-time betting is super fun because the more players you have, the more you get in each other's way, and the more important it is that you get your bet out where you want it before the other players because you are going to want to put it in the most advantageous space, the biggest payout space for the horse you think is going to win and do well, essentially, or show or place. And so you have to really plan your bets accordingly while the race is happening, while the dice are rolling, while the horses are moving. And so there's just a lot of fun chaos. There are a lot of places to place your bets out, and as the game develops, as the rounds continue, there are 4 rounds, you will have more and more places to put down exotic bets, or bets in the top row where that's continually changed, where it says like how horses place compared to other horses, which means that you always are keeping everything in mind. Okay, is 9 ahead of 6? No, I can't place there. Don't place there because that's going to lose me money, and so forth. And you can, of course, just bet on the different colors. Each horse has a different color, and there are groupings of those colors. So there are 4 different colors to pick from. The VIP cards are so cool, and every one of them is unique for every player when they draw those at the end of the round. That gives them a small, interesting, unique, asymmetrical advantage going into the next round, which might be an extra betting chip. It might be a bonus payout for a certain situation. It might be a super cool, advantageous beginning. Who knows? Those VIP cards are something special. At the start of the next rounds, players are going to have those same 5 chips to bet with, maybe even more depending on their VIP cards. And at the end of 4 rounds, you are going to count up all of your money, and whoever has the most money wins. It's really streamlined, it's super fun, and again, I love the idea of that real-time mechanism placed into a horse racing game. I will say, the one thing that I think is missing from this game are horse names. Boy, I would have loved to have had horse names, but I understand why the horse names did not get included, because the horses are moving based on their numbers. And so the dice, you have 2 6-sided dice, and it's going to essentially add up to a particular number, and you've got those 9 horses available. And to have horse 9, for example, have her name be 7-Up. That would be just really hard and strange, and of course 7-Up would probably be number 7 and not 9. But to think up those horse names that would be clear enough and in a fast enough real-time game, but there's just something really nice about like being in the moment and wanting to cheer on your horse's name as they go, and you want them to finish first and you're yelling out, "Go 6!" It doesn't have the same feel. So again, I understand why it's not used, but boy, if there's anything missing, which is the one thing I love about so many horse racing games, is the names. I love the names, and the names get me in the spirit. So for me, that was missing, but boy, is this a fun game, a fast game, and it really just grows with the amount of players. I would say play with more players than fewer players, because it just creates that tension. It creates that, dynamic timing of when do I place my bets, when do I not, and how do I actually divvy out all of my betting chips in the most successful way, which is, again, the whole heart of this game. So loads of fun, definitely shareable, great with a big group. I think you'll have a great time with Ready, Set, Bet. I did.